The trial court lawyers are the craftsmen of the case. They design their case by way of the evidences and documents and arguments. They give a good shape to their case by their expertise. So trial court lawyers are the craftsmen of the case, and the Supreme Court and High Court lawyers are the critics of that art.
Hello and welcome. Today we are back again at our Superlawyer YouTube channel with Ashok Singh sir, who is a practicing attorney at Supreme Court of India and also practices in different high courts across the country, including high courts of Mumbai, Bangalore, Jodhpur, Jaipur, Jabalpur, Chandigarh, Allahabad, Ahmedabad, besides Delhi, to name a few. He is also a founding member and managing partner of the firm AEGIS Legal LLP, a leading law firm which is based in New Delhi, having its associate offices as Mumbai, Bangalore, and Ahmedabad. Sir, most welcome and thank you for most graciously and humbly accepting our invitation to talk to our law learners and the aspirants who want to enter legal field. So I'll start with a very basic question. When did you choose to become a lawyer and join legal profession, even though you had pursued a postgraduate diploma in banking and finance? So what motivated you to transition from finance to law? And we would love to know your journey from you and what kind of challenges did you face to overcome them?
I belong to a very small city in Bihar, Purnia district, and I did my graduation from there in history. And thereafter, during the course of graduation, like it happens to everyone, the students are very perplexed what to do, what not to do, whether to join civil service, go to Delhi and prepare for a civil services exam in Mukherjee Nagar and JNU. Right. So I was also perplexed at that time. But I came to Delhi, and since I belong to a culturist parent, I do not wanted to financially more burden on him. So I had to earn my livelihood as well as to pursue my education also in Delhi. So things changed. Now I realized I could not do well in other competitive exams. Then I decided to pursue law as a career and appeared in an exam of Campus Law Center, Delhi University in 2007. And I got qualified fortunately in that exam and took admission. And once I took admission in the CLC, I never looked back. Never looked back about the other career option. I never sat any competitive exam, including the judicial exam, the lower judiciary and the higher judiciary as well. I never sit any exam after 2007. And since single-mindedly, I'm doing a profession of law and very successfully pursuing a career in law since last 15, 16 years. I have an office in Defense Colony. I have an associate's office at 3-4 cities across the country. I have appeared almost every high courts in the country except Jammu and Kashmir.
So, sir, that being said, I can see that your key areas of practice have been litigation at entry level, international commercial arbitrations, as well as corporate law advisory. What would be your suggestion for the new law aspirants or the young lawyers? Like you said, you never looked back and you never went back for any examinations, although you had that in mind when you were in your city. So what would you suggest them? How should they plan? And how can they plan for their success the way you have built your practice? We would love to hear your guidance and how you have achieved what you have achieved till date.
For the youngsters, my only advice is not pursue your law, basically. Pursue your interest. If you're interested in the particular area of law like arbitration, intellectual property rights, criminal law, so if they're interested in a particular area of law, pursue that interest. Because ultimately, my interest leads to my perfection. And don't try to be jack of all trades. And for the youngsters, it's my advice, spend at least 5 to 7 years in a trial court. If you want to choose litigation as a career, so in litigation, in the initial days, do everything. Do civil court, commercial court, family court, matrimonial, 138, criminal cases. But at least spend 5 to 7 years in the trial court. Because as I believe, the trial court lawyers are the craftsmen of the case. They design their case by way of the evidences and documents and arguments. They give a good shape to their case by their expertise. So trial court lawyers are the craftsmen of the case, and the Supreme Court and High Court lawyers are the critics of that art. No, trial court has left this. No, trial court has not understand this. So basically, in the Supreme Court and High Court, we are a critic to that art, but real artist is the trial court lawyer. So my advice to every youngsters who wants to pursue litigation as a career need to spend at least 5 to 7 years in the trial. They need to learn each and everything, how the evidence are laid, how the documents are produced, how the things are proved in the court.
So you have put it so simply that I feel like I should ask you again about the same thing, but I'll refrain from doing so. But I'll ask you, when you said that you have been to all the high courts except Jammu and Kashmir, and you have been practicing extensively in Supreme Court also, how did you come up with the idea of founding AEGIS Legal LLP, and what actually inspired or triggered this particular transition that you have gone through? What was your specific vision or mission? How did you aim in order to achieving the kind of success which you were looking forward to, as you have been practicing in courts extensively? So we would love to hear that as well, because you are coming from an agriculture background, and I assume you are the first generation lawyer as well. So we would love to hear that particular part.
In practice, one person cannot do everything. All the aspect of the law, area of the law cannot be done by a single person. What happens when you start practicing and the client comes to explore, for the purpose of exploring the other areas, you need a good team. So for the purpose of making multidisciplinary team, I got an idea to develop a law firm, because under one person cannot be several faculties, but under a firm, it can be several faculties. So I was much interested at that time also, and even today also, in a white collar crime related litigation. So I used to refuse the arbitration cases. I started refusing the cases related to matrimonial disputes. I started refusing the civil cases. Except the white collar crime related litigation and financial crime litigation, I started refusing all the civil, matrimonial, arbitration related, even NCLT related cases. At that time, the NCLT was flooded with the applications of IBC by the home buyer, I remember. So I used to start refusing all the briefs because I didn't have a good team. And at that time, there was an idea to set up a law firm and to engage professionals of multidisciplinary practice in their own areas, and to reunite all of them and do all things under one umbrella. So with that idea, I started the firm. Even today, my focus is white collar crime litigation.
So, sir, you focus on your own litigation area, and you formed this with the particular mission of getting everything under one roof.
Yes,
so that definitely makes sense. But when all this came to mind, how did you, it's not about choosing the right person only, it's about choosing the right cases as well. And as we have already gone through your profile and saw that you were involved in a PIL against Mayawati ji concerning the expenditure of public funds.
Yes.
If you don't mind, you would like to elaborate the significance of such cases in promoting the transparency and accountability in governance. And it would be great if you could provide some insights about this. If entirely up to you, sir.
See, this PIL against the Mayawati was not filed by me. It was filed by one of my friend, Ravikant, who is also an advocate. And he is a president of Shakti Vaini. It's a NGO, and extensively they work against the women trafficking and child trafficking. So he is also a lawyer. So it was his idea. I am pursuing this case. I used to appear to the court on each and every date. But filing this SLP was his idea. And it was filed in 2009 when we were the fresh law graduate. We graduated in 2007 and this PIL was filed in 2009. And since then it is pending. And after this PIL, Samajwadi Party government constituted a Rijvi committee. That committee exploded and there was a huge misuse of the funds. It was basically a scam and extravagance of the public funds. And since the statue of the elephant was built during this period, so even Election Commission took a stand and they directed to cover up all the elephants during the election season because it promotes the election symbol of a party.
So, sir, you started this particular PIL in the year 2009. And now it's almost 15 years, I would say. Where do you see these kind of queries go? Like, these questions have to be answered. So did you ever find out that kind of reason how all these issues in public governance offices and the kind of significance of these kind of cases, how does it build up transparency and accountability? If you feel like you can share those nitty-gritties, they will be very helpful in order to understand how we as lawyers or the people who are pursuing law can be more focused toward these kind of causes, because these are very big cause. And in any democracy, we have to look forward to these kind of queries. So what are your views about that? How do you fight to work each day for transparency?
Madam, see, it's a duty of every lawyer to raise a voice against injustice. Whatsoever the nature of the injustice is, it may be a political injustice, it may be a social, it may be a financial, it may be a criminal. But it's a basic duty of the lawyer to raise a voice from where he is, the way he wants, the way he is capable of. And PIL is the biggest tool. It's a learning also. It's a learning also, and it's rewarding also. Rewarding in terms of recognition, and recognition not by the public, even by the court. Court recognizes you if you work selflessly, if you raise a voice of related to the corruption, political corruptions, etc. Court recognizes you. It may affect you adversely. Every lawyer has to be very cautious raising the voice. They must check whether this voice is tutored or supported, motivated by corporates. So it should be innocently raised. And court recognizes this. Court becomes more happier. If a young lawyer, especially when a 2-year graduate, I did graduation in 2007, this PIL was filed in 9. A lawyer having 2 years of the practice raises the voice against the chief minister of the state and demanding a probe against the misuse of the public property and public funds. In fact, the court appreciates you.
So, sir, we have to be mindful of what we are asking and how innocently we are asking about it, and the kind of motives one has. Definitely that makes sense. So thank you for sharing that particular aspect as well. You have been always involved in almost very high-stake cases like Sukesh Chandrasekhar's ED case. What measures do you take in order to manage such kind of pressure and kind of responsibility that definitely comes with representing the clients in such sensitive matters? If you could care to elaborate on that and how one can prepare for such incidents or such kind of matters.
Sukesh Chandrasekhar's case, there are the 4 or 5 cases in Delhi. I appeared in a Supreme Court case. I filed 2 petitions in Supreme Court, one by one, seeking his jail transfer and due to his security in the jail, because he raised a voice before the LG against Kejriwal, Arvind Kejriwal, Chief Minister, against Satendra Jain, and against many other people. I think a lawyer should be very impartial and should be very courageous, because so many people comes into the way. They can pressurize you. Even the government officials, they met you, they come to the court, or this way or that way. They try to turn the things in a different way. Even sometimes your client does not support you. So you have to be very cautious. Every lawyer to be very cautious in dealing such cases, which has a media glare, which has a glare of every citizen. So I think every lawyer should be very cautious.
So thank you for sharing the insights and all these things, definitely. But then, sir, I again will ask you another question related to this aspect only. When you are managing these kind of stressful situations where you have to be cautious, how do you manage the stress level in your personal space as well? Because obviously, all these things go along with you to home as well. So how do you suggest that lawyers, the budding lawyers who are getting into these kind of situations innocently, or they are getting into it through clients and anyone, but how do you manage that stress? How do you take care of yourself? How do you take care of your family? And how do you not make it overcome you or your innocence?
It's a very difficult situation. There is a proverb, it is called, a law is a jealous mistress. Right? My wife says, I am your second wife. And the first wife is my office, my law, my cases, my files, my research work, and my all things. So this is a situation, and I think in this age where I have to fight, a lawyer has to fight on every aspect. A young lawyer has to pay the remuneration to the staff, rent for the office, And they have to buy books, they have to make office, they have to buy furnitures, they have to, right? Everything, expenses. So at this age, the lawyer, at least who has the 10, 12, 15 year of the practice, they struggles, especially the lawyers who are the first generation lawyers, because this is the era they take a shape, basically. They are taking a shape, they are establishing themselves as a lawyer in a different city. So stress management is an issue. Sometimes we are not able to give time to the family as they want. We have a complaint from my family members, from children, from wife. Sometimes we have to work on Sunday. We have to work till late night. Even sometimes, many of times it happens, the brief comes to you and the client has a pressure. No, 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 sir, we have to file it on Monday anyhow. We are not in a situation to refuse. We are not in a situation to be blunt to the client. No, 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 I'll not do. I'll do in Thursday. I'll do in Wednesday. We are not in a situation. We are a first generation lawyer. We have to grab each and every cases. We have to grab each and every opportunity. So because the client cannot wait, you have to do accordingly in accordance with the client. It may not be applicable to a senior advocate. It may not be applicable to the lawyer who are well established in their profession. But it's a fact for the lawyer who are of my age and who are working hard to create a niche in the legal profession. We have to accommodate the way client wants sometimes. Sometimes we have to work on Sundays. Sometimes we have to work till late nights. Many times it happens, I never slept for continuously 2 days. I didn't take bath. I didn't go home. It happens. So at this stage, I fail to state how the stress is to be managed. I'm still exploring this. I'm not competent enough to tell you how the stress is to be managed.
So thank you for being so humble and being so clear about this. You are so transparent about sharing that you are still learning how to manage stress. It's not easy for everyone to actually accept all this, but thank you for doing so for us. Sir, with the kind of stressful situation which you or all of us, all the lawyers, especially first generation lawyers, are already going through, nowadays we are seeing a lot of emerging trends and challenges in the legal landscape which are different from what we have been seeing from ages. How do you anticipate that they will shape the kind of future of legal practice, especially in India? Because there is a lot of change happening. Maybe it is because of technology, because of whatever reason, the way we are changing as humans or as a technology based human. So I would rather, Superlawyer would love to learn from you. What are your views about this?
Some changes are inevitable. You cannot stop it. For example, no one even could predict the court will work on video conferencing. No one could predict even 5 years back. So this good change was brought by the pandemic situation, COVID-19. Now, I used to appear in Bombay High Court. I have two computers on my desk. In one laptop, I am connected to Ahmedabad High Court, and another laptop I am connected to Bombay High Court. I mute this, I unmute this. And one of my colleagues is in Delhi High Court who takes the passover. So even on a single day, you can attend 3 hearings in 3 different courts in 3 different cities. Are you getting my point? So I wanted to say, if I'm capable to appear at the same time on the same day at 10:30 in Ahmedabad High Court, at 12:30 in Bombay High Court, and at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in Delhi High Court in a regular matter on the same day, it means it has a big change. It has a big change. And it was inevitable. Secondly, as far as the changes in the profession is concerned, the technology has brought immense change. Like in litigation also, we see the way now even the Delhi High Court has ruled that service on WhatsApp is admissible, is acceptable. If you file an affidavit with a screenshot of your mobile phone with the blue tick mark, it is acceptable in civil matters. And I have done many times. So it's a change. And this kind of change leads to the speedy justice. I have seen the service to all of the defendants used to take 1 year, sometimes 1.5 years, sometimes 6 months. Now on the same day, 2 days or 3 days, we used to serve the services, all those things through email. and WhatsApp. So they are the change based on the technology. Video conferencing is the live example. Registries are online. E-courts website is revolutionary. Even nowadays, the judgments have a barcode. You can scan that barcode and you can verify the contents of the judgment immediately on the mobile phone. These are the changes that we are experiencing in last 4 or 5 years.
So we are going to get judgments in several languages as well, thanks to AI. Thank you so much for bringing in that kind of knowledge. Actually, barcode is something which helps you scan immediately and get the response from all kind of cases which you are looking forward to. It was not easy earlier. Everything was on paper. So you have to go to that particular court.
You know what happens? I started practice in 2007. My senior used to give me a slip. And in that slip, there was a citation of AIR. And there was a Goswara index in Delhi High Court library. And we used to request the library clerk in Delhi High Court to show me the Goswara index of certain year. And in the Goswara index, it was getting updated every year. In Goswara index, you could find this judgment was referred by which High Court and how many times. And which year, in which case. And again, we used to find the case law from the AIR. We got it photocopied. And to collect 4 or 5 judgments, it took 4 or 5 hours. It took sometimes entire day to do a research on a certain subject. Nowadays, it's become too easy. It becomes too convenient due to so many websites, so many search engine. Even you can find many judgments on Google. If you are not subscribing SCC, Manupatra and all, you can simply find it on the live law. You can simply find it on Bar and Bench. You can simply find it on Google. There are many platforms available free of cost to the masses. So these are the changes that we are experiencing. Even this change has reduced the gap between a small city lawyer and big city lawyer. Sometimes I used to travel to a local court also for the CBI case. Suppose for the purpose of the bail, I traveled to Banswara. I met a lawyer in Banswara. He had an iPad, he had live law, he had bar and bench. He used to find all the things quickly and he was well prepared. So in initial days, when I started practice, I noticed a gap between a lawyer of Supreme Court, High Court and a lawyer of the very small cities of the remote areas. But now this technology has eradicated that gap. Now Google is accessible to everyone. Now live law, Kanun.com, Indian Kanun, Bar and Bench, Manupatra, SCC is available for everyone. This change we are experiencing due to the change in technology.
So true, sir. Even Law Seco is contributing its own bit.
Yes. I appreciate that. Yes, I appreciate that.
We are also trying to do what best can be done in connecting that particular gap between practice and the kind of knowledge we gain during our law school. There is a huge gap between practical and the kind of courses that we do. So obviously gap is getting a little lesser every day, but you absolutely correctly said that yes, technology has helped us a lot. E-courts was like a dream.
It's a truly digital India. This technology has made a lawyer omnipresent. At the same time, they are physically present in Delhi High Court campus, but they are appearing in Bombay High Court. They are appearing in different High Court.
It has become reality. Like you said, if WhatsApp has 2 blue ticks, that is also accepted. That, okay, you have already filed a case. That has become a reality. Now cyberspace is a reality. So given these facts, since you are very much into white collar crimes, how has technology impacted that space as well? And what kind of change have you seen from when you started practicing that field and now? In so many years, in 17 years of your practice, I would love to understand from both aspects, because technology has helped obviously the investigative side as well as the criminal side. So it will be much appreciated if you can share insights from both sides, if possible.
The technology had made investigative agency more capable than it was before. And technology has reduced the time of investigation of certain fact, certain case. Technology has made the investigation less costly, less time consuming, and they are able to do in more accurate way. Due to use of technology, they can scan, they can detect, they can investigate the proceeds of crime, especially in the financial crime and the white collar crime, because in the white collar crime, the detecting proceeds of crime is the biggest challenge in a PMLA, especially detecting conspiracy, detecting proceeds of crime, their channel, the way it was conspired, it was layered, it was transferred, it was laundered. So due to use of technology, in less time, it can be done in a more accurate way, as I feel. And to procure the detail, to gather the sensitive information, data, to match all those data, to verify this with accuracy, all the data has become much easier due to use of technology for the investigating agency side, as I feel. Because the white collar crime, especially when the money laundering and the cases related to drugs and the trafficking is involved, sometimes it is extended to the boundaries of the country. It is not limited to territory of India only or any particular country only. So whenever it comes to the help from the investigating agency from the other country, from the other investigating agency of the different countries to track their nexus, to detect their accessibility, to detect the proceeds of crime in a different country, the technology plays a very immense role.
Sir, has electronic evidencing also helped in a manner the way it was expected to? Based on Evidence Act, reason being I'm very much into this particular evidencing system and how does it help? Because it is a very new field. Forensic evidencing is something which has become more electronic dependent now than it was ever. We are now taking help of a lot of technology, especially of AI, even robots, in order to make sure that we can preserve the essence of that particular evidence as well. So have you encountered such kind of cases in India as well, where AI or any other technology has helped specifically in preserving such kind of evidence in electronic form?
No, I have not encountered with any situation right now, so far.
So far. But sir, with white collar crime, I'm still curious. I really want to know your thought, as in how have you seen white collar crime evolve over the years and the kind of level that has changed over the years? It may have been very paper based, now it has become electronic based. So have you seen a difference between the kind of crimes that were committed earlier or crimes happening now and the way investigative agencies are helping resolve those issues?
In the initial days, even in the commission of crime as well as in the investigation of that crime, in both the side, the impact and use of the technology was very less. Due to evolve in the technology, the changes that have inevitably brought in both sides. Because it's a technology, it can be used by this side, it can be used by that side also. The same AK-47 you will find in the hand of the security personnel, and you will find the same AK-47 in the hand of the terrorist. Right? Because a certain weapon is being evolved, it will be used by this side also, it will be used by that side also. So there is a blessing as well as the curse of the evolvement of the technology. But nowadays, technology, especially in hiding and transmitting the proceeds of crime, especially in a white collar, technology has created much difficulty for the purpose of the investigating agency. In the initial days, it used to happen, some stash of the cash was found in someone's basement, in someone's house. There was the Benami property, and the proceeds of crime were raided and recovered. Now it is getting converted into bitcoins. Now it is getting converted into a different way. There are 100 types of cryptocurrencies. Nowadays, the intercontinental crimes and the money exchange and money trail is being made in the form of the cryptocurrencies and the bitcoins. So it has become more difficult situation for the investigating agency to track that proceeds of crime, to track the money, to detect their chain. The use of technology is much important because crime has taken a different shape. The criminals are adopting new innovative methods. So investigating agency has also to be more vigilant and more innovative.
So rightly said, it can be used from both sides, but yes, hopefully our investigative agencies end up doing it in a much better manner.
Definitely.
So we have almost reached the last leg of our interview. Last and curious question. Curiosity is still to understand how do you de-stress yourself, the kind of hobbies that you have maybe outside the law, as you said in the very start that you dedicated yourself towards law practice only. you must have some other hobbies also through which you de-stress yourself. Would you care to share that and maybe give some golden nuggets for our new first generation lawyers?
Madam, I don't have any special hobbies. I used to read. I used to read and read. Sometimes I get bored from reading law books or case file or evidences. Then I change the subject. I started reading the Rabindranath Tagore. They started reading Mulk Rajanand. I started reading some other books. So I keep reading. Sometimes I get tired of reading my law books and file. I change the subject. I change the book. But as far as to distress myself, I used to do only one physical activity, that is walk. 1 hour walk in the morning, 1 hour walk in the night. Prior to go to bed, around 11 to 12 every day, I take a walk. And in the weekends, I used to do cycling. I used to do cycling in the weekends because during the weekdays, I don't get any time. So in the weekend, especially on the Sunday or in the eve of Saturday, I used to do some cycling if I get time. Except this, I don't have any other things to pursue as a hobby and all.
Wow, sir, thank you so much for such a humbling experience for me. At least you have given the interview in such a simple manner. I feel like, okay, now I have also to change a lot of things, and there are so many things that one can learn from your experiences and the way you have made a name for yourself. And once again, sir, thank you for agreeing to meet with us, give us this interview for our learners to listen to and read about it and know how a person can make a name for himself if they dedicate their heart and soul to it. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.